Hello everybody, welcome back to some more Infamous 2, and I'm hoping that if I'm correct, I loaded the correct save file and that we should be fine, because I did end up recording this video and got about 20 minutes in before I just considered pulling the plug on that episode last night, so hopefully today it will be fine. It wasn't really anything bad, necessarily. I just also wasn't really... I said something dumb, and then it started getting into my brain. And then I started not feeling like wanting to do this. And I was like, ah, crap. It's too late. So, just give it up. God, I'm actually terrible right now. Well, good thing is we knocked them off the ledge here, so... it saves me trouble. Oh yeah, I forgot that you can unlock different aspects of your powers through different stunts. That's what it was. I thought it was because of I mean, I kind of remember the challenge thing because we did that in the last episode, I believe. Holy moly, my hiccups are getting bad. Not even well, they're technically hiccups. It's just like, you know, after eating hiccup stuff. So of course they're gonna be pretty bad. I wonder if things are even gonna start appearing, because there should be side quests and stuff that we can do. However, I always could just end up doing, like, the main mission itself. Okay, so yeah, I think we're pretty much running the same track, same save file. Looks like everything's just about the same as it was when I started it. Alright. So I remember having, like, a riot. I keep saying riot. You know what I mean. I kept seeing a bomb squad shard. And then there's this guy with the tinfoil hat running around. Same design and everything, with another blast shard, which is kind of funny. And now, let's just go ahead and do some side quests, because, well, that's what I like doing. This one's pretty easy. All you're really gonna do is just climb up some rooftops, and then just grab some medical supplies and throw it down with kinetic pulse. Nothing too bad, so shouldn't be too hard. I saw that blast shard, don't worry, I'm going straight for it. Yeah, I do want to make a fair warning that this will be probably most of this Let's Play is me just running around doing side quests and grabbing blast shards, because I tend to really like doing things like that in a game like this, and I want to say Infamous was probably the start of that. Well, I mean, I used to play collectathons beforehand, but I do think that this is probably one of the ones that really did it for me. Speaking of collectathons, I was watching our good friend Filbert Burnell, as known as Darkside Phil on the internet, playing the demo for the Bubsy game, the Bubsy 3D game. And he was talking about how, like, it's a collectathon, it's not going to do very well in, you know, the year of our Lord and Savior, 2026. Stuff of that nature. But I remember Bubsy 4D, I could have sworn that people were looking at it and saying, like, yeah, that looks really good. I mean, hell, like, even Bonanza was relatively pretty fine, and I would assume, you know, probably most likely pretty somewhat popular enough to get around. I think Mario Odyssey was popular. I mean, I'm sure Mario itself is still relatively, you know, a popular thing, even though sometimes it's not really a collectathon, but you get the point. I think he's just saying stupid shit again, because, I mean, well, then again, it is Darkside Phil. He does tend to, especially nowadays, say a lot of dumb crap, but I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. But I do think that the new Bubsy game looks fine. I don't know if I'm going to pick it up right away or anything like that, but I do have faith in it. I think it's probably going to do relatively fine enough, I assume. And the funny thing is, too, like, in the demo, like, he was bitching about how that he couldn't just play a level, but they had a whole sandbox and tutorial, and he was bitching about that, saying, like, well, I just want to play a level. Well, I get that, but this is why you should do research on things sometimes, especially if you're a game journalist, slash, which I know that's just kind of more of a meme for him. If you're the type of person that's like a content creator, I really do think you kind of owe it to your audience to at least do some research on something before you decide to jump into it out of nowhere and just I mean, but I guess that depends. If you want something just completely blind, then sure, I get it. But if you're a constant content creator that wants to bring variety and wants to, make something for your fans and give your audience something entertaining to watch, maybe you should do a little bit of research before you decide to play a game that you know nothing about. Because if he would have done even like an inch of research on what this game is trying to be, he would have realized that this is just basically essentially a sandbox collectathon game allowing you to do a bunch of crazy cool tricks and stuff like that. Think, kind of like a Tony Hawk Underground game, but now it's a platformer, I guess, where you could just go around and do wacky, zany stuff because, make a game fun. And that's what I'm thinking about. I have a very positive idea about Bubsy 4D. I think it'll do just fine. At least I'm hoping it will. I think it looks pretty good. It gets my respect. Yeah, the mission here is essentially just throwing stuff out. I didn't do this mission on my last recording, so obviously I've done the side mission before because I have played a good amount of Infamous to warrant that. And yeah, you can blow this stuff up. That's one way to do it. Of course, I'm just getting shot at from the sides here. That's fine. There's going to be a mission later, which, funny enough, Zeke is standing right next to it, and Zeke's going to be the one calling us about it, which I find kind of funny. I think that's the one where we're looking inside of a shack to find somebody or something. I think that's about right. I feel pretty good right now. I really do. I really do feel pretty good right now. I think that's a good thing, that's always a good thing. By the way, you might want to... Yeah, the car, I think, counts as supplies, annoyingly enough. I played a bit more Shattered Dimensions yesterday because I was continuing off on the playthrough from the Super Genius video. Mainly because, well, we don't have any plans on continuing the Super Genius aspect of it. Because that's just kind of how that series tends to work anyway, is there's no need to go back and finish really anything. It's just a way to kind of showcase games and just show the love for a game and the passion and get our friends into them and stuff. Or show our friends something that they might not be able to have or get, especially in this day and age when these games are kind of expensive. Which reminds me too, if by any means you're interested at all in like Edge of Time, Shattered Dimensions, Web of Shadows, if you're interested in any of those Spider-Man games, I haven't played them on Wii, but I have seen copies of the Wii version online. I looked it up yesterday because I was curious to see how much they would actually cost, and they seem to be a lot cheaper than their PS3 and Xbox 360 counterpart. As I saw that, I think Shattered Dimensions on 360 was like $120 some. Like, well, that was on Amazon, of course, but you get the point. I was like, God damn. Which I like letting people know about, game sales and stuff. I thought about... It's funny, too, because like, I bitch about people, taking ideas, and... Not just from me, but from anybody. Like, I don't like when... Like, I remember finding Nakey Jakey, and he's sitting on his exercise ball, and kind of green screening him doing, like, commentary. And then all of a sudden, people started doing the same fucking thing. Just without the exercise ball. Just standing in front of a green screen, and then doing, like, commentary about stuff. And... Okay, this one's the electrician, never mind. I got the wrong mission. Well, I'm doing a good enough mission, yeah, but I'm just saying, like, I got the wrong mission I was thinking of. With Zeke in front of the roof next to it. Yeah, I kept saying that. I'm like, oh my god, like, just can't anybody come up with any slightly, somewhat, unique concept anymore? Well, the thing that really bugs me is not the fact that you're taking the commentary green screen idea, it's just the fact that you're doing nothing with it. You're just standing in front of a green screen with a microphone in your hand and doing pretty much kind of the same thing that Nakey Jakey does. I mean, maybe Nakey Jakey wasn't really the first person to do that, but that was the first person I've seen kind of do something within that same realm. And funny enough, I mean, he himself is just a commentary channel, and there's a lot of those anyway. So technically, you could say like, well, he's also copying other formulas. Yeah, but he's at least doing something different with it. That's what I think bugs the shit out of me the most. But in terms of me, I want to talk about is David Vink is a RPG guy that I watch, like RPG news stuff. I don't watch him all the time because there are things that he talks about that I either don't really care much for, or at the very least don't, I don't always agree with him on everything he says, because I'm not a brain dead YouTube watcher anymore, thank God. I was back then. I'll be the first one to tell you guys that too. I used to be really brain dead about watching YouTube content creators like JonTron and shit and Game Grumps. They kind of sized my opinions about games, such as like Sonic 06, without even playing it. And I ended up actually thinking Sonic 06 was, when I actually did play it, I was like, oh, this is really not that bad. Yeah, it's a little weird. Like, I mean, I like the Sonic gameplay of it. I like the Sonic missions. I think there's some fun to be had there. I don't like Silver whatsoever, but that's just me. But I eventually grew to realize I have opinions of my own. But that's just, I think, probably just a thing that kids are going to do no matter what, is to just attach themselves to YouTuber opinions. Which that also creates another problem, too, is because once you start being like, well, I don't want to take YouTuber opinion, and then you see, like, somebody like, I don't know, Moist Critical agreeing with me that Scary Movie 6 was just kind of eh. Then it starts becoming like, oh, man, well, if I agree with that, then I'm only just giving in because he said to do it. Even though I know for a fact that in my heart of hearts, I also thought it was meh. But now someone might start thinking that I agree with Critical on everything. Even though I usually kind of don't sometimes. Too contradicting word. Well, sometimes, all the time. You know what I mean. What? Are you fighting me? Oh yeah, because I guess this was supposed to be like an ambush to get me killed. She's just like the fake hostage, pretty much. I think I just realized that now. But yeah, like he has a thing on, David Vink has a thing on his channel where he will tell you about, mainly because I think he's the Amazon, whatever you call it again. I can't remember the name of them. Shit, I don't pay too much attention, I guess. Basically, he gets credited through Amazon stuff. Like if you buy things from Amazon, he gets it too. Gets a little bit of money from it too. But he will post about like sales and stuff. And it's like, man, I could probably do the same thing for like my community posts as well, because that's what he does. He does it on the community post, and it's like, oh, I could do that too. But then I'm just direct, like just to tell people like, hey, I found this cool game. Like if you guys are interested, because again, I like telling my friends and stuff about games I saw on sale and see if they might be even remotely wanting to get it, or if they told me like, hey, I've been kind of wanting, the Final Fantasy collection, I would say like, oh, here it is on sale right now, or I want Triangle Strategy. Well, here it is, like $20. It's just a thing I do. They don't have to buy it right then and there. It's just, it's like, hey, by the way, it is on sale right now that I did see. So if you are interested, then there you go. I'm just being on the lookout for them, I guess. Oh yeah, we gotta do this mission later. This is where I left off at, actually, funny enough, in the video, because I was like 20 minutes in, and like I said, I pretty much said something kind of dumb, and I was like, I don't know, I can't. My commentary is gonna be eating shit if I just continue this, so good thing I stopped and returned today. Try this again. Are there any other missions I could probably go do right now? Because, we're already going to the main one. Let's just go finish that real quick, and then we'll go deal with extra side stuff, because I'm sure someone might be miffed. Oh, who am I kidding? Nobody cares. Alright, Zeke, what the hell do you want now? What else can I talk about? I guess the Digital Circus has a theatrical release. That's a thing. I think I've talked about the show before, but I don't really have much of an interest in it. Mainly because like I've seen at least either through clips or at least an episode, well, somewhat of an episode. And I know this sounds really weird. Well, it's just not my cup of tea, but I think it's pretty well animated for what it's worth. It's just that I don't think the story really does it for me. The same thing with the voice acting. I don't know what it is, but it bugs the living shit out of me. It just doesn't sound like it's right, if that makes sense. Like it sounds like YouTuber voice acting, and I don't really care for that. I don't know. But again, that's just me having wrong think, so don't listen to what I have to say. But I was actually watching something about it recently, too. Somebody brought up a good point in the comments. I forget what the video was called, but it was something like about pretty much just the Digital Circus fandom, which, I mean, no surprise. You know, same thing with... It's just the same thing with any fandom. It's just going to have the bad apples and bad people that just really suck the fun out of it. Which is why I'm typically glad that things that I like tend to kind of gatekeep themselves. So... that's the type of stuff I just like in general. It's just things that just kind of just keep themselves away from too much publicity. So that way I can just kind of enjoy it in peace and not have to deal with it online and see it and see stupid bullshit and people just making shit up. Twitter folk, you know how it goes. But anyway, I was watching this video related to like the fandom itself. And then someone brought up like how the show, at least in terms of the fandom, is kind of like a post-MatPat community. Where, like, after MatPat's, you know, existence of, like, mysteries and lores and stuff like that, everybody just kind of wants, like, the next FNAF, I guess. And I don't blame them for that either, because, like, I get it. You know, I was around that point in time with FNAF interest as well, and you know, to be honest, even I was kind of quite interested in, and invested in the first couple of games. First 3 games, mainly. Well, I take that back. First 4. The original 4 games. Like, I started falling off of all of it after 4. And I did play at least Pizzeria. Well, I guess Pizza. Yeah. It's funny because, like, at the time, I kind of fell off after 4, and then I came back around to go play Sister Location and Pizzeria and stuff, and then eventually start kind of liking that, especially Pizzeria. I think it was kind of really neat. I thought it was a pretty fun game. But yeah, I don't know. There was a point in time where I was just kind of like, I wouldn't really say much of a FNAF hater, but more so really kind of falling out of it and not really caring anymore. And I don't necessarily blame MatPat for that, but that's the thing though too, is like it goes back into the same aspect as the whole thing I was talking about earlier with the YouTuber opinion thing, is like everyone just took everything to heart. Like even technically, like MatPat's theories were also taken to heart, and I'm also a part of that problem. Well, I didn't know about the dream. Well, like yeah, I did know about the dream theory, but that was a little bit after I was out of caring about FNAF too much. I was like, oh, that's kind of a neat idea. And then again, at the end of the day, like, it was just theories, you know? That's just, literally, it's a game theory. I'm about to die. Because one of these guys can just, or the exploding head guy can just completely wipe me out if I'm not careful. So I need to be on my toes here. Anywho, so, yep. One thing I guess that's kind of nice, though, no disrespect to MatPat, but it is kind of nice not having to deal with things like Hello Neighbor wanting to just be in the limelight and try to get MatPat's attention to make theory crafting videos on him and shit. The thing is, too, like, there's always going to be theory crafting videos no matter what. That's just been a thing forever, even before MatPat, so... But I do really kind of understand the whole thing with Digital Circus having that same sort of MatPat vibe of like, yep, there's bound to be something we got to figure out and know. Although, again, I don't know the show, I don't watch it. So I don't know if there's even things like that in the show. If there is like some big, broad, overextending mystery that I don't know anything about. Yeah, I don't know. I know it's a dumb reason for me to be like, I don't want to watch it because, not because of the fandom itself, but because that happens in everything pretty much. But just because I don't like the voice acting, I think it bothers me. I'm very picky about certain things sometimes. I'm not picky all the time. It just, there's certain things, especially if it's something popular, I think that's where I get more picky about it. It might be a contrarian thing to do, but oh my god, I'm so bad at this game. I know it's stupid to technically hate on it's stupid to hate on something because it's popular. I think that's a very dumb mindset to have too. And I used to have a mindset kind of like that back then too, so I'm not... I don't want to try to be a hypocrite and say, like, you know, those people suck. They kind of do sometimes, don't get me wrong, but I was one of them, so I get it. So I think I'm allowed to say that that sucks. It's just more so, like I said, I just have no interest in it. And the funny thing is, too, is, like, I have the same... Not the same problem, but Yooka-Laylee kind of has... I've always kind of had the same sort of issue with that game, too, where it felt like... Even though it's probably a decently fun platformer, because I haven't really played it all that much, I've tried several times and I couldn't get into it. The thing that bugs me the most about the original Yooka-Laylee is the fact that it just doesn't look like it's animated at all. Like, there's a lot of really stiff and ugly character designs, and I don't like that. And then the Impossible Lair came out, and I'm like, oh shit. Yo, this is dope. You know? So... And then I tried playing Yooka-Laylee again, and I'm like, I don't know. But then again, I'm just not really into the Banjo-Kazooie Collectathon mindset regardless. I like Collectathons, but more so in the case of like Mario 64, or something along that nature, I guess. And then it also being made in Unity, and just kind of came off like there was very, very little work put into it. And then I remember when, you know, Replay... came out, and I was like, oh shit, they're gonna fix everything I don't like about this game. And then I finally looked it up, because I was like, oh, they didn't make Replay in Unity, did they? They probably most likely made it in something much better. Because, like, it looks better. Like, it looks like it's animated. There's a bit of things just kind of happening, like the spin attack and stuff just looks like there's something going on with it. There's, like, feedback on everything, it looked. It's made in Unity. It's made like in Unity like 3.0 or some crap like that. I don't know. Either way, sorry. My opinion wrong regardless, but you know, it's my opinion nonetheless, so it's not technically wrong, but it's not right. It's just what I think about it. Not everybody can be into everything. That's just how that works. It's very unfortunate. But then again, too, like, all because I'm critical of something doesn't mean that I despise it. Like, for example, Trails in the Sky remake. Or Trails in the Sky in general. Well, Sky 1, I should say. Remake or the original one. I don't like certain aspects of that game in terms of it being annoyingly difficult sometimes, but hear me out. I play SMT stuff, so I like hard stuff. As you guys know, I really like I like Ninja Gaiden, things of that nature. But in terms of RPGs, like I do play SMT, so it's not like I'm not new to hard RPGs. What bugs me about Trails in the Sky though is I feel like once you get there's certain points where you're cut off from going back to grind or fix an issue you had. You essentially get, I guess, soft locked kind of. For those that might know what I'm talking about, the Ravens fight, like even the farm fight, I think at the beginning of the game does that too. But that one's fine because at that point it's like you really got to learn the game at that point. But they really expect you to learn it real quick too. And the reason why even though I'm kind of critical of that or just don't like that aspect, for me, that doesn't mean that I hate the game at all. It just means I don't like that part of it. I really wish I couldn't just get stuck not being able to leave and go grind and go change up some, or go buy some new equipment stuff or whatever, and I'm stuck having to fight that fight and either just continuously try my best to bang my head against the wall to find some crazy strategy I just don't know about, and then sometimes it just doesn't even work out the way I want it to. But yeah, like, I mean, there's at least the whole, like, you can fight it, or you can lower the difficulty to try to do it that way, which is nice. I'm not a big fan of, like, making myself do that, but sometimes I'm like, you know what, I gotta take the L, because if I don't, I'm gonna have to start completely over, and it's gonna ruin my feelings of the game a little bit more, so I don't want to be too mean about something that I'm being dumb about. Well, granted, I didn't know that was coming, but still. What I'm trying to say is, if I can even get my thoughts right, is that I respect the remake for keeping itself in the same regard of difficulty as it was even back then, and not trying to give in to somebody like me, some random, you know, out of nowhere casual fan who's not really played a lot of the Trails games at all, besides mainly just Sky 1. And technically, I guess Tokyo Xanadu. I did play that back then, before I even knew what I didn't even know what the fuck Trails even was. Same thing with the Octopus Trip. I played that a little bit too. I didn't know anything about Trails, but Trails was just that was an advertisement in the game, so. Point is that I don't need. God damn. Okay, you know what? Hang on. Let me mute my mic in a sec. Real quick. Okay. Sorry about that. Taking a bit of damage there. That's fine. I assume that didn't come up with the mic. I hope not, but pff, it did. Oh well, too late. It's that time of year where things are just gonna be fucking with me. Anywho, but yeah, like I said, I don't need a game to make itself something for me to get into at all. Because if I did, if I was like that, I would be an actual hypocrite. Because, look, I don't have anything wrong with casuals getting into the games. Especially fighting games. Like, I don't mind that. I mean, I do still think that Street Fighter 6 did a pretty good job at it. Like, yeah, the whole modern control thing is really annoying, but it's only really annoying because every time there's like a new character that comes out, I have to reset them from, you know, modern to classic, which pisses me off. Oh, yeah. Oops. My bad. Do I have to redo everything again? I was gonna say, I swear, if I have to do all of it again, I'm gonna be pissed off. Yeah, like I said, I do think that Street Fighter 6 does a pretty good job at that, because modern is something that you can kind of fend yourself against, especially if you're a pro and you know how modern just kind of works. And you can kind of just expect what moves are going to be coming out when, sort of. Same thing with Tekken. Tekken does kind of the same idea, where, you know, you do have like the assist combo stuff, but it's pretty easy to kind of. Well, Tekken, I think. Okay, to be fair, I think Tekken does it a little bit worse. They really don't give you anything to really kind of work with. That's like, because like Street Fighter 6, like I feel like makes it a lot better for casual people to get in, because like at least then the moves, you know, there's not too many moves you can really technically do, I guess. Oh my god, I am so fucking terrible at everything I do, I swear. At the very least, like, Tekken, for what it's worth, has like 3 strings of combo stuff, and that's about it. You can kind of just expect and just block and be like, yeah, I kind of expect that's going to happen. Now, granted, you know, a more intermediate player would probably use those to their advantage and then also go for a throw to kind of spice things up or something, or just change up things. But like a pure casual probably wouldn't really even try to do that. But I feel like for Street Fighter, I feel like people, like when they play online, they probably just eventually kind of learn through that the modern setup and be like, you know, while they're playing online and they get thrown a lot and they're like, Yeah, this is why I hated Nyx, because I thought she was so fucking cringe. I think this is a mission that happens regardless of good or evil. I think. I don't remember. Also, I keep forgetting about the Sly Cooper backpack, too. No, maybe you go save Nyx. Or go find Nyx in the other version of it. I don't know. I don't remember. Anywho, so back on topic. My opinion is that I don't think modern really affects much of anything for me. So, therefore, I don't think it's bad. But something like the skill thing in Grand Blue Versus, even they still kind of have it where you can just do a super. You could, well, the problem is, which sounds kind of dumb when you think about it. It's like, okay, so if you do a raw super, it will do the same amount of damage regardless, but only if it's a raw super, I think, because I'm pretty sure if you do a combo into a super with the you know, the R1 super, without actually putting in the inputs for it, it should still theoretically give you about the same amount of damage as you would a regular combo one. But it's, I don't know. I'm more of the concept that, I don't know how to put this. It's really baffling, isn't it? Because like for some reason, like I'm fine with Street Fighter 6 doing it, but I'm not fine with Grand Blue doing it. It's bizarre. Because like my whole issue with a lot of fighting games is you have a fighting game that has motion inputs, but yet you'll let people not do those, optionally not do them for free, and then get the same result. I think for me, when it comes to Street Fighter, I guess my idea is, even though I don't play like a ton of Street Fighter, so maybe this is just a problem with me though. I've played a good amount, but I don't play it like a lot. I'm more of like an anime fighter type guy, so you can kind of see where I'm probably coming from this. I'm more of like a combo heavy type guy, and I think that combos require skill, or at least some level of like knowledge and skill to do them. And if you're allowed to just pull off a super out of nowhere and get like a ton of damage mid-combo, then it just, without really any effort, puts me off a little bit. Yeah, see, no matter what I say, it just sounds stupid. Because it's like, okay, well, at least in terms of Grand Blue, like if you're pissed off about the whole, you can do a raw super and it does about the same amount of damage as like an inputted super does. There's two things that go against that argument. One, it probably takes about the same amount of time to input the same super as it does, whether it be motion input or not, you know, or just a button press. Like people can most likely do the input pretty damn quick, all things considered. Besides, it's a raw super that does the damage, or like a ton of damage, or the same amount of damage without no damage scaling, regardless. So just block the raw super, and just, yeah, I mean, you're fighting a casual player using a skill thing that, you know, lets them get away with whatever. Just block their stuff like in Tekken. It's the same thing, same concept there. But then again, pros can also use that as well to their advantage, and then you could make the argument like, well, then just start using it to your advantage too. But I don't want to give into it because I feel like I have some sort of dignity. I don't. Yeah, now you see where the problem's coming from. That's where the root stems from. Is like I have this sense of dignity that I'm not allowed to do something because it's easier. I'm not allowed to play games on easy. I'm not allowed to do something a certain way just because I have to be the hard guy or whatever. I don't know. I guess it really just all is just rooted within my own dumb personality for stopping me from doing things. But it doesn't stop me from having fun. Like I'm a motion input guy, you know. I've been and always will be. I forced myself to learn that stuff back in the day. Because at the time, like the only fighting game I really played was Tekken. So I wasn't really used to the concept of motion inputs until much later. Technically, they kind of had them sort of too, but you get the point. Talking like, Street Fighter motion input type stuff, basically. Down forward Z motion, things like that. But I did eventually learn it, and I feel better for that, Also, another game that I think that does a great job of being a casual friendly game is Dragon Ball FighterZ. I will always say that. I do think they did a pretty good job. Like, yeah, they have auto combos and stuff, which, yeah, sure, you can do that. But it's so funny how, like, it fundamentally works really well for just regular combos, too. Like, you can start an auto combo and not even finish it. Like, you do, like, two punches from it and then continue off and completely change what's going to happen after. And I like that concept. I think that's really fun. I guess it really just kind of boils down to what I'm doing that day if I'm playing online and if that person who's using Modern is pissing me off or not.
That's crap. Let's show these folks some real entertainment. Disable a few TV dishes around there and I should be able to hack the feed.
Alright. I do remember this one kind of vaguely. Because again, it's been a while since I've actually done anything in terms of Infamous 2 stuff. Okay, there's our thing. It's clear as day. All you gotta do is just suck the energy out and you're good. Pretty simple, and of course, you're gonna have enemies that are gonna appear to try to fight you, and what have you. So, I keep forgetting that I'm technically Evil Cole right now. I kind of wish his electricity would get more red as he goes down. And that, his electricity would get more blue as you go up. Sorry. I'm trying to drop down, but I keep fudging that up. Yeah, I like these games too much, man. I really do. There's something about it. Like, I know, people like the Breath of the Wild stuff. I don't. I didn't care for Breath of the Wild. I've tried multiple times. I just cannot get into it. But something about, like, this, like, I don't know why, but these city-wide, or just a small enough sandbox city thing, having a bunch of tiny little dopamine things all around is enough for me to like playing it, I guess. Do I actually... you have to unlock... Well, you unlock them through challenges, but you have to buy them still. We probably could. I mean, it's right there. I could go with some powers. We now have access to Artillery Bolt, which basically is just a long-range attack. I typically, sometimes, if I'm not mistaken, I think I end up using this one more often than not. Well, let's use it, I guess. Alpha Blast. Nicole jumps when close, so harness the energy of a super jump. That's... I don't remember that even being a thing, but that's sick, though. Oh, I forgot that we have double grenade. Don't know if I bought that in a video or not, but still. Megawatt drain, sure, why not? That's just an actual upgrade. That's funny. Let's go see what the boosts are for this. Civilians will take almost no damage from Cole's attacks if you're on the hero side. Healing a civilian will also heal others nearby, which is really helpful for hero. Really good for getting those experience points. Hitting human-sized enemy with any bolt attack will slightly recharge Cole's energy supply. That's why being good is actually kind of helpful. And you can also see that his outfit starts to kind of slightly change. Look, right there. You can kind of see it there. But for evil-wise, 1 XP. Hitting targets with any bolt attack causes electricity to chain by. Destructive. Oh, and then, of course, you have Bio Leech giving unlimited energy for a short time. So there's a lot of really cool stuff in here. And I like that a lot. Like, in all technicality, I mean, I will admit that Infamous 2 has a lot more stuff going on in terms of mechanics and such, or just even power upgrades and what have you, than Infamous 1. I mean, I'm pretty sure that's pretty obvious. But I still like my Infamous 1. Just cause. I like Empire City, even though I don't like the trash bag area or even the Historic District, such like that, but... Or Alden. Or Trish. Ambulance section. Yeah, okay, there's things I don't like, sure, but like going around the city, this might sound kind of weird, but I always get like obviously I get nostalgic for the game, but whenever I think about playing Infamous 1, I always kind of tend to think about me eating Taco Bell because I think for some point in time I was probably eating Taco Bell and had like some really good. That might have been around the time when I first got to try a Crunch Wrap and fell in love with it. So I wouldn't be surprised because my uncle came over. Well, ex-uncle at this point, but my ex-uncle came over and he had like a Crunch Wrap that he didn't want to finish. He was like, "You want it?" "Yeah, I'll take it." I did not like that guy very much. Well, I tried to, but I couldn't because he said something about Infamous that pissed me off, and then from there it just made me despise him forever. Funny enough. Which was that he preferred Prototype over Infamous because you're not allowed to use guns in Infamous. And I thought that was like the most... Because I was like a teen at the time. Something like that, a tween or whatever the fuck. Still relatively young-ish, of course. The point is that fucking destroyed me enough. Because I kept arguing in my head, like, well, Cole can't have a gun because it'll explode in his hand. And plus, I mean, you have electric powers. Who the fuck needs a gun at that point? And you can kind of tell with I guess the market for some folks was, even back then, how some people would just consider something bad just because it doesn't have a thing in it. So pretty much, I guess I was just used to, or I wasn't used to bad opinions until then. Nah, fuck him. I don't care. It's a bad opinion. Fuck you. I don't give a fuck. Fuck that. You suck. What do you want me to throw at? This? Oh, okay. I hope that works. I don't know. Looks like it. Don't you just love destroying shit? Oh, I have to fall. Wait. Oh, okay. I think we did a pretty good job. I'm also not a fan of her little spider run thing that she's got going on either. I just really don't like Nyx. I just think she's really cringe. Like, she definitely, no doubt, watches Naruto AMVs a lot. With Linkin Park music. Hey, I like Linkin Park, so... Why are you gonna make me go all the way back here just to go through a fucking car, man? Well, I hope this lands, because it probably won't. I don't know. Yep. Perfect. Weird that the graveyard does not have blast shards in it, but I think that's a thing that happens eventually at the end of the game, is eventually blast shards will start appearing over time. I know I said the end of the game, but still. Also, this... I think another reason why I don't like this fucking city is because, like, I just don't like Hick City shit. I don't like Hick stuff at all. I have to throw a car, that's right. Like, this whole downtrodden, swampy-looking ass area just doesn't do it for me. Fuck. Oh, come on. I didn't let go. That should work. Alright. Mission done. Win big money in the lottery. Save big money at Menards. That's what it almost sounds like to me. And look at that. Another bit of decent XP. Oh yeah, these darkened areas I think are supposed to be non-powered up areas. Yes, that's why we're probably not supposed to be going here, because enemies will be a lot more dangerous. Kind of. Mainly because of the fact that you have no electricity to play with, so you're kind of stuck. Kind of figured that'd be one of those guys. Swamp bastards. Alright, well, you know what? I guess that's probably going to have to be it. And we will see you guys next time we play some more Infamous 2. Look at the progress we're making. There's only 2 islands, so it might be a little bit. It might take me a bit to beat this. But I think we're making decent progress, especially if I keep doing main missions for a little while. Because we're about, I don't know, this is number 11? No, 12? Something like that? I don't know. I could check the save file. But either way, oh, Lash Art time, 2 of them. Let's go ahead and grab that real fast. Don't mind me taking that. And then while I'm at it, I'm going to grab that other one real quick, too. Yeah, these games, man, they filled my obsession for doing a thing. Constant doing thing, and it's probably not good for my brain. Ah, fuck it. Let's kill these guys while we're at it. Is this artillery bolt? Yes. Yeah, I usually end up using artillery bolt more often than not. Mainly because it has long range, and it does the same amount of fire, rate of fire as Alpha Bolt, so it's pretty cool. Yeah, I guess next time we come back, we'll go ahead and, I guess, do the main mission, and then, I don't know if she was... I don't know if she was thanking me for that or not, but oh well. Cop. Yeah, so let's get out these streets before I get shot and completely killed here, because that's the problem I'm having, is trying to avoid this crap. That's kind of my fault for doing that. Anyway, yeah. With that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you all next time for some more Infamous 2. And there might be something else coming up soon, too, as well, along the lines of Infamous 2. So, maybe. Anyway, take care, everybody.